Welcome back, everyone. Demon and Quickshot have lane swapped in to join me in her last match. Dark Passage easily took down Legacy Esports, and while we heard it from Holy Phoenix, we did a better pick and ban phase in his opinion going into this game. But Trevor, you had a bone to pick with Legacy Esports in the mid lane.
Oh, I completely agree. I have no idea what Zed was meant to do in that pick. Voluntarily putting Zed into the option of Orianna is always going to end in a bad day. And when you've got Braum and Nidalee who builds Bruiser these days, Zed's always got a time limit for how effective he's going to be. On the same token, they also ran Kog'Maw Morgana into Jinx Braum. And at the very beginning of the day, I was like, that's a lane matchup that Jinx or Braum are going to win. Nidalee is going to be able to punish Irelia. And it's something that we've seen happen. I really feel that Legacy dropped the ball in this picks and bans. And I'm not quite sure what they were hoping to do, whether it was overconfidence or whether they felt their comp would actually work.
Yeah, and if you look at like game one, they had obviously the 2v1. It worked well. They were almost on the inner very early on. This time around, they were right, you guys are going to go top. We're going to 2v2 you. And sure as hell, they got themselves first putting that top. They almost got a double kill for Holy Phoenix. But again, it's something that got Holy Phoenix rolling on Jinx, and it just worked out so well for them.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, they were both top laners were in the bottom lane, and when one simple dive, Irelia went down there as well. And actually from then on, the Dark Passage was able to build up a big lead, which resulted in team fights where they immediately had to lead. Let's actually look at a replay of one of those team fights where Legacy overcommits, something we've seen both teams do. Let's not be new.
Very true. Both teams have overcommitted, but this was really the game-changing overcommitment in my mind. If you look at the goal difference, it's already 4K. Legacy have fallen further behind than they did in game one of the day. Roll a clip out, and you'll notice Choo-Choo's, he thinks he can go in on Holy Phoenix. Truthfully, he has been caught, so he's trying to make the best of a bad situation. But what follows is the rest of Legacy all committing. Teleport comes down, and we see, Minky, well, he's just trying to kill secure is the term I'm going to use. And it's just all disjointed. Legacy hunting kills and not really looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, and you just got to wonder, because actually if you looked at the start of it, Choo-Choo probably could have got away. Used the Livid Shadow to get away. Still had his ultimate, so he could have just dashed, done a bit of juking, done a bit of anything. But instead, he pulled the entire team to commit to one big crazy fight that they were never going to win because they were already behind.
Yeah, and it's something that Legacy have done a lot. In game one, they managed to pull it back because their composition allowed them to win team fights despite having a gold deficit. This time around, having a gold deficit with the champions meant that it was nearly impossible because of all the protection that you had on the side of Dark Passage and the mobility that they had. I also think, if I'm going to be very, very critical, Fabulous played Nidalee kind of like old Nidalee. We didn't really see him split pushing a whole lot. I do think it may have been a symptom of the game. They got ahead, so he stayed ahead. But he could have done a little bit more to control those side lanes and dictate the tempo of the game that way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So, of course, we have 2 games left, but it does look like these 2 teams are front runners to be going up against each other tomorrow. It's kind of funny because if they go up against each other in a best of 5, they're already 2 games and they were really able to scope each other out. Do you feel like Dark Passage has now found the way to beat them in 3 straight games?
Well, honestly, I think as Holy Phoenix pointed out, the ban phase is crucial for both these teams, the pick and ban phase. If they can get the right comp, over a best of 5, you can almost sniff each other out, and you'd obviously start figuring out. Clearly, Tristana is something that has to be taken out there. But also, maybe the AD carries could well be the focus for both of these teams, or the supports, but it's all about what lanes they get into.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I do think picks and bans is very important for both of these teams. They do go hell of a aggressive often, and I also think whoever has the ability to play control may be able to surprise their opponents in an extended series. But before we get to that, both of these teams do have to finish like 3-1 on the day if they both win their next games against Russian Force. And then because of the head-to-head rules, because Dark Passage has beaten Legacy in a faster time, they will take the higher seed into the final tomorrow.
Yep, and as Holy Phoenix was saying, well, I'm doing it, we're making it happen, so we'll see how that plays out. We're ready to head into the next game, so let's head back over to Joe and the Fee Show.
Thank you very much, guys. We're on to Game 5 of the International Wildcard Round Robin, which is between Russian Force and Legacy Esports. In their earlier match against each other, Legacy easily took down Russian Force, but we just watched them get totally outplayed by Dark Passage.
Still, though, a bit of a difference in the 2 teams they've just been facing. Dark Passage has looked very, very good, especially in the last game against Legacy, where Russian Force has struggled. Now, of course, we need to see if Legacy can take the loss, forget it they had against Dark Passage, and focus on the game they're about to play now. And if you do look at Russian Force, I want to highlight Dogger, because he was one of the players I was really looking forward to see playing again. He used to play for Gambit for a few weeks, about a year ago, actually, in the summer split, 2013. And he's not been performing too well. Now, when I heard he was actually playing the mid lane, and I saw him on Twitter saying he has these special picks he wants to pull out.
Ziggs.
Ziggs wasn't one of those who came to mind. It was one of those we expected him to play because it's one of the more safe like lane bullies where you can sit in lane and farm and you can wave lane, you can therefore extend the games. But we haven't seen any special picks yet, and I actually want to see it now because Russian Force has to pull out something special. There's the special part. To actually win the games here, and they have to win both games if they want to try and make it to a potential grand final.
Yeah, and Darker's got it pretty difficult, I'd say, this game again, because Choo-Choo's for Legacy. He's played Zilean, Orianna, Zed, already showing that he can play a multitude of different champions and styles. You can question all day long whether you think that Zed was good or bad in the last game for him, but I think up against Darker, someone who is playing very, or trying to play very safe, that's where you can really shine. Yeah,
and if you just talk about the Zed pick, while yes, it didn't work in the combo, it didn't work because they fell behind, they wanted to like split push with the comp they had, his plays were fantastic. Like his mechanics on Zed was great. He dodged around rockets, he killed people like 1v2 down the bottom lane, and the few times he did actually get to split push, he would always get a kill and look very strong. But we didn't see what he wanted to play now because he played two like team champions in Orianna and Zilean, and then the Zed for the split push here. I wonder what he's going to pull out for this one here. And I also wonder what Carbon is going to do in the jungle. 2 times Elise and 1 time Ringa. Ringa was banned last game. He looked very good against Russian Force in the first game on Ringa. Could be a potential ban here. His Elise in the last game was very passive. He didn't have an impact in the game at all, and needs to make sure he can help his laners in this one.
So let's check out the starting lineups then for both teams. On the blue side for this one, it's Russian Force with 80 remains in the top lane, Dmitya in the jungle, Darker in the mid lane, Daru in the AD carry, and Archie on support.
And on the red side, once again, is Legacy eSports with Minky Will in the top lane, Carbon in the jungle, Choo-Choo's in the mid lane, Cartrid as the AD carry, and Ejim as their support.
Strong lineup on both sides. Let's check lolesports.com though to see who you guys have chosen to win this rematch. 62% of the vote, you've picked Legacy eSports. Kind of easy to see why if you look back to the last 2 games that we've seen Russian Force play.
Yeah, so definitely heavy favorites, even though they lost the game. As long as they can just forget the game they just played, focus on this one here, do what they did in the first game they played them, they should be able to take it.
Well, going to be a difficult one, I think, for Russian Force. Maybe we'll see Darker bring out this fabled special pick that he's been talking about on Twitter when he announced that he'll be playing mid lane for Russian Force. But where are the key champions, in your opinion, to ban out this game?
Well, we could see the Rengar ban coming in from Russian Force. It was very hard to deal with in the last game against Legacy eSport. Otherwise, they could potentially try and, if they want to open it up for Darker, target some bans towards the mid lane, and therefore try and give him a favorable matchup, maybe a counter matchup, counter pick for him, and there he can try and win the lane and try and snowball the game. Otherwise, we have seen Russian Force put a lot of focus on Dayruin and make sure he got a good start, make sure he could get like a hyper carry, which again, of course, can be bans from Legacy eSport if they want to make sure he can't do anything.
Well, let's find out, shall we, as we get into Champion Select here for our 5th game of the day. Is, of course, Russian Force on the blue side. What are they going to go with? A blue side casting ban. Kind of proving me a little bit right earlier on that we thought that they were trying to bait Darker into a Kassadin pick. And he obviously doesn't fancy it here as they ban it away on blue side. For Legacy, it's going to be more of a standard red side ban these days. But that Kassadin ban on blue frees up a ban for Legacy.
So now they can go towards someone like Dayruin or maybe Darker. Banning Ziggs away. He's played it twice already. Seems to be his safe champion. You can ban it and put it on whatever you want. In that case, you can also just say, if we know Ziggs is open, there's a high chance he picks it and we're not afraid of it, so let's just leave it open, hope he takes it, and once again we can take like an Orianna into it and just like dominate the lane like we saw Choo-Choo's do in the last the last game they played each other, and we do actually see an AD carry ban.
Yeah, and it just seems like Legacy don't like Tristana, don't want to play against that one. Banned out another time here, Nidalee of course taken away. So that won't be available for Minky Whale. What is the final ban here for Russian Force? You see Archie on your screen there looking very much deep in thought. He was the one earlier on with the notebook that obviously has the Russian Force secrets in it. And then go for a Lucian ban here against Cartrid.
Okay. Bit of a special ban. We've already seen a few different AD carries from Cartrid, so little bit surprised about the Lucian here, but clearly feel like it could be an issue playing against it. I'm not sure Legacy worries too much about the Lucian ban.
Yeah, may just leave them open for a bottom lane pickup when it comes to their first round of choices here, depending on what Russian Force end up getting. It is going to be a Ziggs ban, so they're trying to put Darker onto a less comfortable champion. We theorized earlier on that Orianna is something that we expect Darker to go. Yeah, and because exactly that, with Choo-Choo's has played Orianna already, that's an interesting one for me. Evelyn first pick.
Yeah, once again, it just seems like Russian Force want to just sit on these comfort picks, and they don't really mind what they actually first pick, because if you look what's actually open, Morgana is open, Alistar is open, Orianna is open, been a big pick for Legacy as well, actually been a big pick here the entire day. He's a very strong laner, would work wonders on someone like Darker, who's already struggling in the laning phase. Nidalee was banned away, so you won't be able to see Legacy pick it up. We just played against it before, against Dark Passage, of course. But you take the Evelyn, Elise is still open, Rengar is still open, Lee Sin is still open. And now you just give over 2 insanely strong picks to Legacy.
I'd like to see Teemo Hecarim.
Hecarim was buffed.
He was.
Probably not.
We've already got Evelyn in there, and unless Darker was, you know, really thinking about something special, a mid lane horse. I doubt it though. And Irelia also being hovered over here. See if that Irelia does get locked in for AT remains in the top lane. Still hovering the Hecarim as they switch away, actually picking up Vayne here. So that one coming fairly early down the picks, and the Irelia does get locked in as well. Okay, so wouldn't surprise me to see Russian Force here trying to look for a lane swap. Get Vayne away from the standard 2v2 lane so she can just sit and farm. Which then kind of backfires because you have an Evelyn, and normally you want to have Evelyn in standard lanes, then she can apply all the pressure with her passive just to stealth. But in fact, you never know if, okay, they're going aggressive on me, is it because Evelyn is here or not, unless you have some deep wards, which kind of gets countered by the lane swap, where we normally see the junglers either sit and farm and then go and help a lane anyway, and the way you would expect the jungler to be, or he's running with the top lane, which kind of would give it away. But let's see what they want to do. It's not like Evelyn is useless in a lane swap. She's just more ideal in standard lanes. I'm not sure that Legacy really need to pick their mid laner right now, since the fact that they've got that final pick. What they will do, they'll take Zilean, and we'll also see Rengar being picked up for Carbon in the jungle. Of course, it was Rengar that he played last time around. For me, caused him a lot of problems as well. We saw him diving in left, right, and center and being a real pain. It was a great game on Rengar, and one of the reasons I expected actually Russian Force to ban away from Legacy instead of like a Lucian ban. It's not like, again, Legacy is being touched by the Lucian ban. Instead of get rid of the Rengar, put Carbon once again on Elise, where you can maybe control him a little bit better. Now you have this horrible, horrible situation where you have a Rengar in stealth, he gets a bomb, he gets speed up by Zilean, and he just flies into your face, and it's so hard. If you just slightly out of position, you will get engaged on in a bad spot, and they will, Legacy will be able to just collapse onto Russian Force, and most likely just blow up a target. Well, it looks like we're going to be seeing a mid lane Morgana here for Darker, with Archie then on Janna. Of course, wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a mid lane Janna either. But no. I guess for Darker, this is maybe one of his more special picks that he's talking about. Not the first time, though, that we've seen Morgana this year. But this is really Darker and Russian Force saying, we have a great AD carry. Dayrune has been performing well in the games he's played today. He's been a good AD carry. And we just want to build a comp around protecting him, give him a hyper carry where he can like 1v5 the game if he gets the chance. Now we have shield from Janna, we have black shield from Morgana, and we have the peel as well from the two champions just to try and keep him alive. And then it's up to Evelyn and Irelia to kind of jump the backline of Legacy and try and kill Cartridge. Otherwise, Legacy should be able to actually take... Oh, sorry. The issue is, Evelyn and Irelia, it's going to be hard for him to tank up the damage from Cartridge in the late game, especially if you combine it with the bombs from Zilean and like the mid game punch, start of late game, and also the peel from an Alistar, the slowdown from Zilean. So it can be hard for Russian Force to actually take down Cartridge in these fights, especially only because they have Irelia and Evelyn to do it, while the rest is focused on protecting Dayrune in these team fights. And final pick, of course, was the Mundo here for Minky Whale. Similar core to what we actually saw in their first game against Dark Passage, where they had the Alice to support Zillion in the mid lane. Had Irelia top that time around, which obviously he's gone, and Cogmore on the AD carry role as well. So.
And it's just a smart pickup because look at the damage on Russian Force side. It's all about Vayne in the late game, so you now have a big fat tank who's going to run into his face, get some attack speed reduction, and just try and be as annoying as possible. Yes, Vayne will build Blade of the King, which is very good against Mundo, but seeing as he's the only damage source against him in late game, like Morgana is very, very strong in the mid game as an AP champion. Your Black Shield is very strong, but late game, you don't really have the damage, especially not against a tank, to take them down. So it's going to be all about Vayne killing Minky Will in these late game teamfights, which also explains the Mundo pick.
Well, which of these lineups do you guys think will lead them to a victory? Tweet hashtag RF win or hashtag LGC win to @LOL Esports, and we'll see who you think came out ahead a little bit later on. Legacy, of course, are the favorites coming into this, but you have to wonder whether that loss against Dark Passage in our previous game may have thrown a bit of a spanner into the works, and it'd be almost unthinkable to say, you know, Legacy, who went 2-0, looked so good in the first half of the day, end up 2 for 2. It's going to be a big ask, I think, though, of Russian Force. We've seen already that they've, at least for now, not been up to par with the other two teams that we have, but we're going to find out here as we go into game. Russian Force on blue, Darker bringing that mid-lane Morgana out. Let's see how much of an impact that's going to have. And, of course, Archie on Janna as well. Not exactly a top-tier support pick these days.
No, we don't see her very, very often. And again, for Russian Force here, they want to make sure Dayrun can get as much farm as possible in the early game, so we might see them look for the lane swap, which then would kind of set back AT Remains on Aurelia a little bit if it's going to be 2v1s, and therefore delay his Trinity Force, which we talked about in the last game, how important it is for Aurelia to get this early Trinity Force so you can be very strong in these mid-game team fights, and then you become a tank in the late game and still have some decent damage, because it's going to rely a lot on those two members. Evelyn late game, her AP ratios were buffed, but she lost like base damage, especially on a Q, which means if you don't build actually like AP items and AD items, you have less damage than you had before. So it's going to be even harder for Evelyn to kill people in the late game, and we normally see like Elder Lizard and then full tank. Therefore, it's going to be a lot about Aurelia, a lot about Vayne, and Russian Force has to do everything they can to make sure these champions get the kills, get the farm they need. Unless, of course, someone like Darker managed to do really well in this Morgana and kind of snowball, because then you do have a fine mid-game with Aurelia and Morgana. Just Vayne kind of lacking behind a little bit. You
also have to say as well, with Orianna gone with the... sorry, Orianna wasn't picked in this one, of course. They changed it off to Zillion. But it kind of fits the style that we were talking about earlier for him. Again, kind of sit back, throw down the Tormented Soil, have the safety of that shield coming in onto you. We'll see how Dark performs here, because, to be honest, he needs to step up his game if Russian Force is to have a chance.
I mean, he's the guy with experience. He's the guy who's been on a big stage before here, and he needs to help the team if they want to win.
Well, we are going to get things back underway there. That slight pause not going to trouble us too much. Half a minute into the match. And we have to also say that a lot of games, I think all except one, have ended in a level 1 invade. Mostly from the blue side, actually, going up onto that top side of the map. You can see that Russian Force are already in a position to maybe set that one in motion. Although, spotting that ward come down, I was going to say may make them think twice, but they're not going to think twice. They're just going to do it. Yeah,
they also had a ward, actually, to see that Zillion was running to their jungle, so they knew, okay, they're not sitting 5 members from Legacy and waiting for us in here. And also, you do have a decent level 1, especially because you have Morgana with the binding, and it's actually going to hit Carbon.
Oh, this could be danger for him. Is there enough damage out of Vayne and Evelyn? That is a lot of damage coming Carbon's way. Not quite enough, though, to actually get the finisher. And they'll be wishing that Archie was there, because an Ignite added into that one. Oh, that's a good block of the Dark Binding. That would have hit Carbon in the end. Nice little try, though, from Russian Force here at level 1.
Yeah, and also the reason they just went in the jungle, they felt so confident, looking to land the binding, looking to set up a kill, and we see pretty much the same set of wards we saw in the last game, where you want to try and spot out, okay, where's the enemy dual lane going? And we can try and like swap around it or swap to it if that's what you want, but in this case, they will probably look to swap around it. However, because Minky Will is actually just standing at his tower, they didn't see anyone moving from the base to the top lane, and therefore they should actually expect now that Legacy has sent the dual lane down to this bottom side because they haven't seen them walk by the wards.
So, blue buff start then for Carbon for Legacy. Other side is going to be Dumecha starting out with his red buff. Did get a bit of help there from Janna just to get things underway. That leaves us with this bottom lane of Vayne, Janna versus the Alistar and Kog'Maw. Could be an interesting one. As soon as level 2 comes in, you have to be very, very careful against this lane. Actually going a bit aggressive here on towards Cardrin. Ejim is going to get in there for the knock-up onto Archie, and that will mean that the AD carries can trade some damage there. It's actually Cardrin that comes off worse.
Yeah, because all the damage from Legacy went on to Archie here in the fight, while Dayrune were just sitting and constantly hitting Cartridge. And therefore, got some good damage off and a good trade. And Legacy in the early stages of the laning phase 2v2 seems to have some trouble. Dark Passage last game was the same deal. Gave up an early kill, fell behind, couldn't punish Holy Phoenix, and now this time around it's the same deal. Ejim kind of like tried to walk behind Russian Force, and then he only got the knock-up onto Archie, which is not the target you want. And therefore end up actually losing the trade. Health potion is gone, both AD carries, but one is on 100%, the other one's on 50.
Oh, Dementia coming up here on towards Minky Whale. 80 remains, is going low though, and he manages to get the first blood. Dementia should be able to chase down Minky Whale here. Not exactly the fastest, gonna flash up the top, flash back in, Cleaver misses, and Dementia is able to get the kill back.
Still though, first blood here for Minky Whale on Dr. Mundo, because AT remains were trying to bait it. He just kind of stayed in, kept taking damage, and then actually going down. Engaged onto Dayrune.
Oh, and there's the headbutt back into the tower. Actually, Dayrune not taking as much damage as they expected. There was an insta-flash away from the turret, and that won't be a kill down bottom. However, someone has used, obviously support did use his, as Choo Choo's gets hit by that dark binding. And I also have to say that Morgana, the black shield, going to help a lot when it comes to mitigating the bomb damage as they get him once again for the headbutt on towards Dayrune. Can they actually finish him off? Good damage back, stun up underneath the tower. Ignite is ticking away as well. Not quite enough damage to finish off Ejim.
So constantly looking for the fights down here, Ejim. Going aggressive. The play before the flash Q into tower was smart, actually. Turned it instantly in favor of Cartridge because he was now the healthy guy. But then he went for the second engage, and now there was no flash, no way to get Dayrune into the tower, and instead he actually ended up taking a lot of damage for it. And so far, the early trades not been paying off for Legacy. Carbon is coming down. He might want to change something here.
Oh, and that was
good timing on a ward.
Good timing from Russian Force there.
And now
I was going to say, you pushed that far up the lane without a ward behind you. That's just asking for trouble. Carbon actually clearing out the pink, and look at this. He's actually going to stay there. Going to go in for Dayrune, but no, the switch target flashes in, gets stunned against the wall. That was brilliant stuff from Dayrune, although he gets jumped on once again. Turning around the damage there towards Carbon. The boulder strike lands onto Archie, and in the end, they managed to get away from the gank.
So Carbon jumping in, he missed his E, so didn't manage to get a slowdown, and therefore couldn't really chase up for the kill, even though there was actually no flash on the side of Dayrune on the Vayne. And now Evelyn want to join the party. There's been a lot of action down here. Remember, there's a pink ward in the bush.
Which I don't believe they saw. They will do now. Dementia coming away, saying, okay, so they did actually spot me. Just waiting around there on that bottom side will pop his W and head back off towards farming the jungle up. So this bottom lane have been pretty intense with action, and it's Dayrune that's out farming Kadrid at the moment, 32 to 24 CS.
And really just all about, again, the level 1, level 2 fight, which went in favor of Russian Force, and therefore meant you have an 80 carry on 100% HP against one on 50%. So Cartridge and Ejim was just forced back to their own tower, had to wait for the wave to hit, and they also got level 2 a bit later, and just borrowed a lot of time for Dayrune to just sit and farm on this Vayne here, not being punished early on, where you normally see a Vayne being shut down.
Dayrune was trying to bait there, trying to get Alistar to give him a knock with the combo because Evelyn had come down. Although now we see Demetra actually leaving this bottom lane, realizing that Legacy seems to be playing it a little more cautious, making sure that they don't overextend on that front and give anything away. So we're still sat with that one killer piece that of course came earlier on in the top lane. Minky Whale able to pick up that first blood. And up against a Irelia now with double Doran's Blade, so we'll see how that one all goes. Currently, Minky Whale going ahead in CS, 44 to 41, so not exactly a massive amount, As we see the counter jungle from Demetra as well. He's currently getting rid of a Wolf Camp. Needs to be a little bit cautious though. We see Carbon coming around. We'll actually gain vision of him there as well. Is the bottom lane going to try and head it off? Zillion is actually coming in as well. Demetra here doesn't have a flash available. This is really bad news for him as the first bomb is going to be landing. Black Shield will come down though. And there's the binding coming through to stop them chasing in. Nicely done by Russian Force.
Yeah, Russian Force playing well in the early game. Issue for them, however, is Minky Whale up in his top lane. Dr. Mundo is normally not a champion who's gonna win his lane straight up on CS and also pick up a first blood. And we know how good he is late game, and he is fighting once again.
Yeah, gonna stick on towards AT remains here. Cleaver lands, and a 1 versus 1. And Mundo shouldn't be killing Irelia.
No. That should never happen here. Mundo is gonna be so scary in this game. He might even skip the point where you have like this mid-game point of Dr. Mundo where he's not really tanky enough yet to just run into your entire team and survive it. But once he gets the 3rd or 4th item, he becomes this like unkillable beast who can just run into your team, buy time for the rest of the members. When you give him 2 early kills and free farm in the lane, he's gonna hit that point really fast.
Here they go on towards the bottom lane. Demetra's there. He's waiting a long time though. And Cardred actually, with the help there of his support, they're gonna take Archie very, very low. Demetra now will be the next focus. Dayruin trying to get in there for a kill on the backside. Carbon going low. Demetra though is gonna fall. Cardred gets that kill. Dayruin should be able to get one back. Can they follow through? The range of Cogmore a problem. Shield put on to Dayruin. Knocked off and a double kill there. Brilliantly done from Ejim.
Yeah, nice flash in there. Knocks him up. Dayruin actually went for the kill. Couldn't really escape it either because Ejim was chasing him up there. So just had to try and go for the kill. Nice flash Q. Picks up 2 kills now for Carteret. Even though he had a rough start, this is really gonna help. You can push out the lane, get even in CS, get 2 kills. Just gonna see the fight again. Evelyn is waiting a long time before he engages, and Carbon is down here to instant disengage, so they jump on Archie, and that's just all about going here. Okay, we're going for Vayne, we go for Evelyn. Just switch targets constantly. You want to kill the Vayne, but every time he just dashes out of range, you can't really get to him, and you just have to switch target. Now Dayruin, taken solo, Ejim chasing up. They want to try and go for the kill. Flash Q in, sets it up for Carteret to pick up a double kill. So nice play here by Ejim.
Cheeky little heal there as well, just to make sure that he doesn't go down from Janet. Although not exactly masses of damage coming out of that one. This top lane, Mundo has been back shopping, comes back in with a chain vest and
going again.
that Giant's belt, sorry. He's going to chase on towards 18 remains, who goes down to half HP. Problem is, he can't anywhere near as close to regen that as fast as Minky Whale can. Just press R and you're up at full health again.
Yeah, and in champs, like we talked about how late game, pretty much all the damage is going to come from the Vayne. Let's see though what happens here. Minky Whale might be in trouble.
Oh, there is Carbon diving out. Minky Whale's got his ultimate running there. 80 remains actually trying to get in for the kill, but he realizes he's too tanky and he can't get it. Carbon will dive onto 1. Can he finish off Demetra? Here comes Darker from the side. They wisely ping to walk away from it, and Darker won't be able to get anything there. You see, look how healthy Minky Whale is after being on just a slither of health. Once again, that big tanky Mundo proving such a problem to actually kill.
Yeah, and just remember, we pretty much see teleport for all top laners in every single game, so when you don't have an Ignite against the Dr. Mundo here, if they had it, they could actually have killed him. In the straight up engage, the burst down, Dayruin, you might be in trouble.
Oh, ultimate coming out though from Archie, that Monsoon. Just trying to keep them away from Dayruin. They might actually just go for this one anyway. Ejim trying to get at the front there as his ulti pops. Who's he going to go for? Good Howling Gale though out of Archie. Will slow them down. Maybe not actually finish them off though. Headbutt will actually knock Dayruin further away from the AD carry. Meanwhile, top lane, there was a bit of a massacre going on. 2 people down for Legacy. They did get the tower though.
What on earth happened there? Might just have said, you know what, we don't care about dying, we're just going to take tower. Let's see. So full focus on tower. Evelyn goes in, and actually just because they ignore her first and just only focus the tower, is able to just kill her 2 members and survive. Now Dayruin, there's a bomb in your face.
There is a bomb, it's on your head. Archie's got one as well, and there's an auto attack that's going to get Choo-Choo's a double kill down bottom, easy.
Just running down to this bottom lane after the fight we had earlier. A lot of members drop very low. Ejim once again is actually very low, but he's the guy to set it up. Gets a double bomb and instant double kill here for Choo-Choo's.
Yeah, and that gets him running as well, because did start to fall a little bit behind Darker in that middle lane. Leaving it now on 2-0-0. Going to give him a nice boost of cash as well. 1,300 gold he's currently sat on to go home and spend. Going the same build as we saw him do last time around. which is get the tier stacking first, get yourself an Athenes, then move slowly up towards that Archangels. Said it in the last game, takes a little bit of time to get going, but late game, as is Conmore and Mundo going to be very strong as, well, Demetia completely caught out in the enemy jungle and will be easily finished off there for Cardrid, and that is a killing spree now, 3-0-1. Meanwhile, Minky Whale may fancy a go on towards 80 remains once again. He's got that Sunfire Cape done, a lot of damage coming in without doing much. Cleaver misses though, and that'll be the end of the trade.
And that's a bit of a weird play here from Demetia, just walking in the jungle all alone. Legacy picked up an easy kill and the dragon. And it's really been the issue for Russian Force. The bottom lane is doing well. Dayrun always managed to pick up some kills, and he's the guy they rely on to try and carry. Let's see what happens here though. He's 2v2 once again.
I don't think it's going to go well for them. There's the knock-up. Dayrun actually getting exhaust in there as well, and he's going to go down once again. The vision. Archie will actually flash, but that's maybe not going to help him. Good Monsoon. Turret is still up behind them, but it's a slow and a root, and this should be able to be finished off. It's Cardrid who gets another kill on a rampage now at 4-0-2. Meanwhile, Darker going to get a bomb for his troubles, but he turns around a lot of damage. Choo-choo's where you're going to go. He's got his ulti running, and Darker realizing now, okay, I might just have to walk away from it. Can he land another binding here to set up more damage?
No.
Nicely dodged by Choo-Choo's.
A nice little juke here. Down his bottom lane. Demetia, he wants revenge. He died just before. Looking for Cardrid and a teleport.
Oh, teleport coming down. This is a lot to throw at Cardrid, but he flashes away. Can he escape it? 80 remains. Just got locked up there by Rengar on the bottom side. With the cow now in there, they should be able to hold on to this one. Morgana coming across the side. Can he land the binding? Flashes in. Oh, he threw it too early. The blue buff was there. Cardrid goes low, dodging away from Irelia. Just finally get finished off. And now Ejim in trouble. He will flash back to his turret. Good damage from the Icathian surprise. Rengar might look to head them off as well. The blue buff being started off here. Rengar throwing his boulder strike out. Choo-Choo's is coming. That blue buff already gone down though. The bomb is on the cow. And now he doesn't chase through. So blue buff stolen away, managing to get a kill there as well.
It's a nice little setup. Place the ward, instant teleport. The only issue is there's still a Dr. Mundo sitting in the top lane. And while Irelia was teleporting to the bottom lane to chase and pick up the kill, your tower just went down, and more farm for Minky Whale on Mundo here. Still a nice little setup by Demetia to go in, place the ward, instant teleport. Ejim, he really likes to use this combo on Dayrun as much as possible.
And there is the blue buff equalizer, let's call it, after Russian Force stole the one away from Legacy. Minky Whale will get his hands on that one. He must be sat on a good amount of gold. 1,700 gold he currently has in his pocket, so
both junglers
good chunk to be going for. Both junglers, as you rightly point out, are there. Let's see what Demetia decides to go for. Carbon is already stealthed up here, coming in. They see Demetia coming. There is the combo from Alistair. He's got his ultimate running flash away from Demetia. Dayrun doing the damage. But here comes Choo-Choo's down to the bottom lane. Morgana nowhere to be seen in this one. There the bomb starting to pile up. Carbon's going to dive in as well. The bomb will finish off one. It's actually a double kill for Cardrid there onto both the support and the AD carry. Darker now coming along a little bit too late and probably just needs to leave there with Demetia.
And this really is one of the very, very strong points about Zilean. We're not done yet, however.
Oh, Zilean underneath the tower, but he's got his ultimate available. What are they going to do with this one now? Turret has gone down. That leaves Dark Roll on his own. Bomb is in there, and Cardrid gets another one. 7-1-2 for the AD carry.
So always one of the strong points about Zilean mid lane, especially in the early mid game, is you can just roam between the lanes. You're so fast. Speed yourself. Get down to whatever lane or get up to whatever lane. There's some action going on in, and as soon as the fight started down his bottom lane, he just moved from the mid lane, joined it. Darker was nowhere to be seen. He has no boots. He's very, very slow moving between the lanes himself. And Choo-Choo comes in, double bombs, gets some more kills on Cardrid now. He's doing a very good job always being there just to like get the last kill, and this chase not gonna wake up. So let's see it again. Notice here, the ping actually coming in from Russian Force. They know Zilean is coming. He's running from the mid lane. As soon as the fight started, Legacy set it up really well. And as soon as he joins in, it's 4 members versus 3 here, and there's nothing you can do at this point. Like if you're Dayrun or Archie, you're just gonna die because you're so far off the lane. Your own mid laner joins the fight now, while 2 members are already dead.
Oh, this could actually be danger for Russian Force. There's the combo. Exhaust is down. Minky Whale gets one. Can they get 80 remains? They surely can now. A good monsoon actually coming out of Archie. But there's a flash in from Carbon. Gets the root onto 80 remains. The cleaver doesn't quite land, but the combo from Ejin will. Have they got the damage here? Gets the shield from Jana. Not enough. And there is Choo Choo's as well. Slows down Archie. He will fall. And just like that, 3 for nothing. They're probably just going to turn for Baron now.
And second time we see Russian Force try and kill Minky Whale without any healing reduction. It doesn't work unless you burst him down instantly. If you don't have the healing reduction, his ulti is just gonna be so annoying. Let's see what Evelyn can do. He wants to kill.
Yeah,
he's
gonna
be
able to as well.
No, he's not
here
gonna
comes
get
the
it.
cow once again.
Why?
Joining as well. They can't finish off Demetra there. Actually does land the boulder strike through the minions in the end. And that means that they just walk away. Meanwhile, Mundo has 3,290 gold to spend. That is a good shopping trip if I've ever seen one. It's like, yeah, Randuin's all in one.
Yeah, so again here, Russian Force, they just want to pick up kills. Doesn't matter where, they want to get some kills onto this vein here. No healing reduction. Archie wasn't there with the healing reduction himself. Not even sure he had it ready, actually. And as soon as they went for Minky Whale, Legacy was ready to respond. Picked up an easy kill. Goes for the next one here. Once again also, Zillion joins in. Morgana is nowhere to be seen.
The slow down onto Archie means you're not getting away from this team that's full of slows itself. And you rightly point out, Darker just not there at that point. And if you compare the fact that Darker and Choo Choo's level on CS, but Darker has been nowhere near these fights, whereas Choo Choo's are joining almost every single time. Legacy here are just having a dance while they wait for the dragon to spawn up. That's an easy one for them.
Again, a little bit unfair to blame Darker for it because he doesn't have the same mobility as we just talked about.
True.
As a Zillion. Therefore, it's basically just Legacy saying we can keep forcing fights in the side lanes because our mid laner will always jump before yours, and therefore we can always turn around. And Dayrun, he really wants some kills.
Trying to get in there on towards Cardred. Actually, well, Flash Spray, that's going to be decent damage from his Summoner heal use as well. They get Vision back though, and Cardred on a rampage, not even falling there. 80 remains, tried to get on him, but now he might be in trouble. Minky Whale coming in from the side. Archie is already very low. We'll use the Monsoon to knock them out, but Zillion's going to come over the top of the wall here in a second, trying to speed himself up. Did get the bomb onto 80 remains. Archie, sadly enough for him, is going down. Minky Whale gets that one. There's another 2-man knockup. Demetra knocked into the back of the team. Darker's finally going to use his ultimate here, as he will get the proc onto Minky Whale. Ultimate went from Zillion on towards Ejim though, and they just keep chasing through. Minky Whale is going to take down 80 remains. Choo Choo's actually bombing him there for the last one. Darker does get the shutdown onto Choo Choo's. Ejim has to get away, and Minky Whale has about 10 HP there. And he goes again, but the pool will kill him.
In the very end, Darker just popped the pool under him and actually killed him here. Same deal once again though. Legacy instantly, 4-5 members, part of the fight, gets the kills here. Dayrun almost killed Carteret first, just ended up dying, and Legacy come down and pick up more kills again. So first of all, same engage. Dayrun knows if I don't just keep engaging and try and pick up kills now, I'm never going to get any kills, never going to try and snowball, and we're not going to win the game going into mid-late game anyway. So I just have to keep trying forcing it. It means Legacy gets another fight. Again, if you look at the mid laners, Darker running from base. Choo Choo's is already here, ready to bomb people, has the ulti for Ejim as well, and Minky Whale is just being Dr. Mundo, who is getting too much farm, too many kills. So tanky, so healthy. Until the very end where Darker actually pops the troll pool just under him and kills him.
Yeah. Also,
smack.
In the game now, we see there that Ejim forced to use his ultimate, so that might be a chance for them to do something. Choo Choo's actually got his ultimate running here. Dayrun going to get sandwiched between Mundo and the jungler. There's a bomb on his head, but Minky Whale will actually get the kill with that Sunfire, with his burnout running, and they're going to go straight towards Archie, who can only really shield himself here, but with the roots and the slows, you don't escape it. Minky Whale picks up kill number 8.
Just the same deal. Dayrun looking for kills. Legacy's always there, multiple members, so massive goal lead at this point, and can just punish him. Dagger, let's see if he can survive.
Yeah, shield not really going to do a lot there. His ultimate will actually proc onto Minky Whale, who's been focused, and then finally kill him off, but Codrin unstoppable after he took down Darker in the end. That leaves them at a 1-for-1, but 4 men still alive. Gonna struggle to hold on to this inner tower. Also not so sure about Archie's build, by the way.
Well, let's see what happens.
80 remains though, and the rest of them really getting knocked up. They put the exhaust down onto Dayruin. That means that his damage not going to be super high. Bomb on top of his head. Janna coming around. Dayruin's going to take a lot of damage, but crucially not fall. However, wait for Ejim here because he has shown time and time again. He goes in. Good monsoon from Archie, knocks him back. Actually, good damage from Dayruin as well. But they're going to lose the tower nonetheless.
So lost the tower here, and Archie's just got like full early game combat stats. He just want to be as strong as possible early.
Oh, surprise cow! Surprise cow out of the bush! There is actually a good Howling Gale to stop them, but Carbon already on top. That's 2 kills, 1 apiece. Now Darker's going to be pulled down. Boulder Strike lands. He's got no Zhonya's. He's going down. It's a double kill for Codrin.
But because we're still so early in the game, there's only like 30 seconds death timer, and
which means you can come back
and die again. Also means Legacy can't really just push into the base. So they can of course try and get more kills than Dark Passage got in their game against Russian Force, which was it 45? Around the 45 mark. Let's see if they can beat it. So far they're getting enough fights, and they don't really have to force it themselves. Russian Force is looking to fight as well.
Minky Whale 844 on Dr. Mundo. Absolute tanky beast, but Dayruin with that Blade of the Ruin King and his Silver Bolts can actually do very, very good damage there onto Minky Whale, so he knows that he has to be a little careful about challenging Dayruin when he's alone. Really are actually coming up this top side as well. They know that Minky Whale, they had an idea that Minky Whale was waiting there inside of the blue brush. We actually see Ward go down, but looks like Legacy are going to try the Baron bait.
And why not? I mean, if Russian Force comes to try and check the Baron, Legacy gets a team fight in a good area, all 5 members.
Get a Baron.
And if not, they get a Baron, so not exactly rocket science with the call here from Legacy. And we'll actually just get the Baron. Russian Force don't want to run in and face check them.
No way around that one, and Baron is going to be going down here for Legacy. That gives them another chunk of gold to spend. Minky Whale, for example, got another 1,000 gold. There's Dayruin going in. Oh, Choo Choo's gets his ultimate pop. Ejim trying to get on towards Dayruin. They've caught out Demetra, and 80 remains there in the brush, but they're letting Vayne just have free reign on them. 2 of them very low in the middle. 80 remains will flash. Carbon actually getting taken down by Archer's Ignite, but Choo Choo's and the rest now moving in. Darker did come back up there after he didn't actually use his on. He's just very healthy overall. Choo Choo's getting caught out. Vayne gonna knock him against the wall. Have they got the damage here to finish up Dayruin? He's got a bomb on. Will it explode in time? It will. The shield not enough to save him as 80 remains. Dives in there as well. Low HP. In the end, managed to get the kill and they back off.
So Legacy actually lost the team fight here. After they got the Baron, Dayruin was just left to deal all the damage in the world, at least in the start of the fight. They managed to actually kill him in the very end, but Russian Force showing it's not 100% done yet. Let's just see the replay. On to Choo Choo's first. A lot of damage onto him actually. Dayruin will take a massive burst from the bombs. Nice ult from Archie. Denies Carbon from actually jumping in on Dayruin, and he's now just left alone. Deals all the damage he wants. He's gonna kill Carbon first. Get him down. Minky Whale is still alive, and Bean Dino in tank, but his ulti is gone as well. So this time, a very messy team fight, but at least Russian Force showing they're not 100% out yet, and as long as they get some kills in Dayruin, they're still gonna try. I mean, you gotta hand it to him. They're not just sitting back in base and waiting. They really wanna just fight.
80 remains. Big jump in there. Actually got the shield from Janet to keep him going. But in the meantime, we did see a dragon go the way of Legacy. And the gold, well, there's a massive difference, of course, between the two of them. Oh, there's Choo Choo's actually getting a little bit caught out. Does have his ulti back up. Carbon gonna dive in as well. It's Demetra that they're trying to focus down and should be able to finish off, especially now with Minky Whale joining the fight. Demetra's going down. It's Choo Choo's that gets it. And now they're on towards 80 remains at the backside. It's slowed down, finished off. Cardred gets his 12th kill of the game.
And this should mean now Legacy can push into the base, get Inhibitor down, and then look either towards the Nexus turret or looking out to just go back and defend it, because Dayrun is actually pushing the mid lane. And Darko is doing his move off.
Well, Minky Whale, I'm afraid, can tank up turrets. He can probably tank up both Nexus turrets at this point, to be fair. We did see the outer turret in the mid lane go down to Dayrun. Doesn't look like he's stopping, but of course he's never going to win any kind of race here if they don't come back. 10 seconds on 80 remains. Demetra has just respawned in, but they're already onto those Nexus turrets. Vayne starting to actually walk back here and finally will hit the recall. Should be in time here to actually protect the base. Choo Choo's going a little bit low, might force them to come away. And Minky Whale taking decent amounts of damage. Don't think they can actually get in there to finish off. Talisman was used out of Egypt, and Legacy just back away after taking the inhib.
Yeah, still managed to get in here, but Dayrun got the best out of her terrible situation, we can say. No, once again, we see a fight. Yeah,
they're going to face check straight into that one. Not sure it's going to work out, although Cardrid going low. Gets the ultimate though once again out of Zilean. Darker gets a good 3-man ulti off, but he will be pounced on straight away. Rengar does go down. That leaves us with a 1-for-1. I think they're going to keep chasing here. Minky Whale underneath the turret. Attack from all fronts, including the turret aggro. Pops his ultimate and just walks on out.
Again though, 1-for-1. Russian Force, I'm not sure if they're surprising Legacy, but just constantly going for these fights here. It is not done yet, however. Archie, you might be in trouble.
Well, he is in trouble. He's dead. In fact, Cardrid there as Dayrun actually going to get headbutted into the rest of the team. They didn't really finish him off all that quick, but it's a triple kill coming out for Kog'Maw. Demetra being attacked by Cardrid, who will get himself the quadra, and that surely means that they can take the game here.
Well, can it? 30 seconds here. Death Timers have to push another tower. There's a lot of minions down this bottom lane, so they could actually just ignore this tower and go straight for the Nexus, but Big Boss Darker is here to defend.
Well, Big Boss, I'm not so sure right now, because that super minion only just getting finished off and the rest of Legacy are actually here. First Nexus turret going to go down. The second one will be following off shortly as Minky Whale just keep them zoned away this entire time. There is Archie coming back into the game, and it looks like they've managed to force Legacy back.
Didn't manage to finish. 2 inhibitors gone. Should just be a matter of time, unless Russian Force can pull off a little bit of a miracle by getting 2, 3, maybe 4 aces.
They're only 20,000 gold behind this year.
I mean, again, you need a few pentakills on your Vayne, and you might be back in the game.
Well, Kog'Maw is cleaning up right now. Cardrid is 17-6 after that quadrat. And he's got double Phantom Dancer, Blade of the Ruin King, and the Trinity Force.
He didn't get a pentakill yet, however.
No.
So 1-0 for Dark Passage.
That's because Quick Shot's not sat here.
Yeah, it's
true. If I was casting a Quick Shot, he would have actually been a penta, that one.
I only had 1 pentakill. That was reckless on Vayne. And then, of course, been in a game with a pentakill.
Is that your claim to fame now, Deficio?
Yes.
You were once in a game with a pentakill in the LCS.
Yes.
It was a while ago by now.
And I actually tried to steal. I actually tried to steal a kill because I didn't know it was going to be a penta. I just didn't manage to do it. Luckily, I didn't manage to do it.
Yeah. People would have hated you for it.
Yeah, they would.
Oh, Demetra just caught out here. Quite simply, he's going to go down. Throws his ulti in there just to get a bit of a shield, but that won't really prolong him too much. Carbon, ultimate run, he's going to try and get in behind Dayrun, and there's the jump in. Monsoon comes out, but it's going to be too late. Dayrun goes down. Minky Whale's regenning. Archie with a flash over into the Wraith Pit, but they've actually pushed those super minions back from that bottom lane now, so we'll see if they can actually get through that one Nexus turret. Did manage to survive through that last onslaught and has regened itself above half HP, but once Kog'Maw comes across, when he's finished dealing with Archie to get kill number 18, they're going to walk away here and try and finish off the game. Nexus Turret 2 is going to go down. Will they try and finish off more kills here? Looks like they want to win the game. Darker dies in the middle. Ultimate running. Pops his Zhonya's as well. He's going to come back up, get finished off here by Kog'Maw. Actually, no, Choo Choo steals it. Doesn't matter. Legacy pick up the win here.
So this was basically a game where Russian Force constantly tried to force fights early game. They knew they had to get kills on Aurelia. They knew they had to get kills on Dayrun and Vayne. But the Zilean mid lane was just always there to help his team. Carbon was always there to help his team on Rengar. And of course Minky Whale in the top lane just minding his own business for the first 20 minutes. Killing Aurelia twice, picking up all the farm he needed.
was going to say, he wasn't even minding his own business. He 1v1'd Irelia.
Actually true, yeah. He didn't actually mind his own business. Well, he was all alone. Didn't seem like he actually cared. The only issue, or the only very, very, very small point we can talk about when it comes to Legacy and what went wrong in the game. The very early game, once again, for the dual lane, 2v2 didn't go well. EGM wanted to engage at level 1, only hit Archie, therefore they actually lost the trade, fell behind in CS, fell slightly behind in XP, didn't get the early level 2 themselves, which was an issue against Dark Passage as well, but that's probably about it.
And if I just look down the scoreboard here, 10-4-12 Mundo. It's not uncommon to see Mundo with a lot of assists because he's obviously always just doing damage while he's in the middle of the fight. But 10 kills is probably a little bit more rare. We also saw for Alistair there, for EGM, 0-1-30. 30 assists out of how many kills? 40 kills. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's always fights in the bottom lane, like over and over and over. Russian Force kept forcing teamfights in the bottom lane. 4 members from Legacy just kept running down to the bottom lane, get all the kills, get all the gold, and a little bit of a solo queue game in the end, safe to say. Could potentially have been farming fantasy points. Sadly, we don't have any. Otherwise, would have been looking pretty good for the Legacy members.
I think, though, for Russian Force, I mean, you get into that position in that bottom lane specifically where you know you're just behind. And the only way to actually get in there is to pick up some kills on your vein. So Ruin tried literally everything to go in. Sadly for him, most of the time, all that happened is he just got headbutt, pulverized, and after that, Carbon was just there anyway. We saw Minky Whale.
Then he got a bomb in his face.
Minky Whale TPing down, Zillion just all day cooldown on his speed boost just to get in there as well. And played it really well, their Legacy. I had a little bit of a worry that after their loss to Dark Passage that things might get a little shaky for them. Didn't really, though, did it?
No, it didn't seem like much of an issue, at least, winning the game here. Just, again, just only the very first few levels for the dual lane was the small issue. Everything else was perfectly planned, perfectly controlled. Picked up all the kills, maybe even picked up a few extra kills, and no real chance for Russian Force to actually win the game, unless like Dayrune had gotten huge on his vein all of a sudden.
So I'm going to go back to that point about Darker, where he said he's got something non-meta and special to show us here. The last game now, of course, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything, because a win is a win, whatever your scenario. And they could also, by the way, affect how Dark Passage and Legacy finish in there. If they beat Dark Passage, Legacy will go through as the #1 team into tomorrow's final. But maybe that last game is the chance for Darker to bring something cool and different onto the stage.
I hope so. Keep in mind for all the members from Russian Force, even though they now can't make the grand final, you're still playing, especially the substitutes, or only the substitutes, we should say. You're still playing to show yourself, and people are watching the games here. If they see you perform really well, there will, or could potentially be teams who wants to pick you up or try you out. So it's obviously what they're playing for, especially a guy like Darker in the mid lane. He's been looking for a team for a while. I read he just finished his studies, and now he wants to get back in the professional scene. So obviously he wants to show himself. I hope he pulls out something special and then can show his skills.
Well, that game will, of course, be coming up next. But first, we're going to send things over to Shox, who's standing by with 2 members of Legacy Esports.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'm here with Legacy's top laner, oh, I have to do the same thing like the Fisha did. Minky Whale and their support, EGM. Another victory here for you guys. Very impressive game. Talk me through the game from your perspective, Minky Whale, because it seemed like you could manhandle that top lane.
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of practice Mundo against Irelia in scrims and in solo queue, but especially in scrims. Our scrim partner, he's Irelia main at top, so I've had a lot of practice, and yeah, I can punish Irelia's at top with Mundo quite easily.
You absolutely did, 1 versus 1. And of course, EGM, that cow, tell me the secrets. I mean, we've seen a couple of them in the support lane, a lot in the top lane as well, but you played phenomenally.
The cow, I think the biggest secret is just Q before you flash. Like, you see me do that all the time, and yeah, I just think he's just a really strong champion. He's just really in a good place right now.
Tell me how you played him in this game. Before we saw you roaming very early on. Now he decided to stay in the lane and take them on.
I think it was just what the game called for. We had an Eve, so I wanted to go Mobies early, and then yeah, we just didn't really have opportunities. So I just played lane by lane, and yeah.
Yeah, you guys did well here once again. Now that means you have locked in your spot for tomorrow. The best of 5 versus Dark Passage has been up and down versus Dark Passage today. They beat you guys earlier, and they said, well, we knew what to pick in that second matchup. So do you think they have you guys figured out now?
Well, we thought we had a cheese strat planned for the second game. But obviously, if they figure us out, we need to go home and do some drafting for tomorrow. That's for sure. I don't think they have us figured out. I think, honestly, we just played poorly in the second match, and so, like, yeah, we just lost all lanes and kind of snowballed out of control. Italy got really big, their AD got really big, and like we just didn't have the wave clear to deal with it. So our draft wasn't the best, but yeah, I'm pretty confident going in tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a great matchup. When I talked to them, it was basically Holy Phoenix that is doing so well on that team and basically says, well, we're doing it, I'm doing it. Is there someone in your team that also takes it on himself to be like, carry yourself to Worlds, or is it the whole team?
Yeah, definitely. Young Choo Choo's in the mid lane. He always makes it his personal job to carry the team. And if he's not, he gets really angry, so yeah. No, great. Choo Choo's, he's just getting his backpack.
Yeah, I always thought sometimes he just wants to go in when maybe it's a little too deep. Well, great play from him as well. Is there anything you guys want to say, of course, representing your region here, OCE, and maybe making it to Worlds for your region?
A special shout out to everyone in OCE, especially the people watching from the MOBAs, Gulf Brisbane, and all the other places. Yeah, just a mad shout to OCE. I hope you do proud, really.
I think you're doing them very proud. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll head back to base for just a moment, and when we return, it is our last match of the International Wildcard Round Robin as Dark Passage takes on Russian Force.
Kill on the backside, Carbon going low, Demetri though is going to fall, Cardry gets that kill, Dayruin should be able to get one back, can they follow through? The range of Cogmore a problem, shield put onto Dayruin, knocked off, and a double kill there.
Now Dayruin, there's a bomb in your face.
There is a bomb, it's on your head, Archie's got one as well, and there's an auto attack that's going to get Choo Choo's a double kill down bottom. Morgana nowhere to be seen in this one, there the bomb's starting to pile up, Carbon's going to dive in as well, the bomb will finish off one, it's actually a double kill for Cardry there. There is actually a good Howling Gale to stop them, but Carbon already on top, that's 2 kills, 1 apiece, now Darker's going to be pulled down, Boulder Strike lands, he's got no Zonyas, he's going down.